Okay, part two of this week's lesson is vector addition and scalar multiplication. Okay, first we're going to talk about adding vectors. Technically what we do is we use parallel transformations. We map the initial point of vector v onto the terminal point of vector u. The resulting vector from the initial point of u to the terminal point of v is the resultant. Now what does that look like? I'm going to move this over here a little. Here I have vector u and vector v. Now the parallel transformation brings u up to here to connect, and this vector right here is u plus v. Okay? That's how that works. That's what we're talking about. Now it's very simple. When you do the addition, let u and v be component vectors. And when you add them together, you add the pieces. u1 plus v1, u2 plus v2. Very simple. Scalar multiplication, same concept. We're going to let c be an element of real numbers and v be a component vector. When you multiply c times the vector v, you get, I've checked that, you multiply the pieces of the vector, v1 and v2. You just straight multiplication. Okay, so now I've got some examples. I'm going to use vector u is 3/2, 4, and vector v is 1/2, -4. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add those two vectors together. So in order to do that, we do 3/2 plus 1/2, 4 plus -4. And that ends up being 2, 0. Very straightforward. Now when you do subtraction, same concept. Okay, 3/2 minus 1/2, 4 minus -4. And that's when you're doing u minus v. You end up with 1, 8. Okay, I'm going to move on to v minus u. And just as you might suspect, you're just changing the pieces around. 3/2, and check that, 1/2 minus 3/2, -4 minus 4. And just like when you do with regular subtraction, you end up with opposites when you move things around like that, when you just reverse what you're doing. Okay, now for u, very simple. We're going to do 4 times 3/2, 4 times 4, and you end up with 6, 16. Okay, and now number 5, I didn't leave much space there. 1/3 u minus 2v. So I do, well, let me move this over. There we go. 1/3 times the first component of u is 3/2. So 1/3 times 3/2 ends up being 1/2. And 1/3 times 4 ends up being 4/3. Now we want minus, and we're going to multiply vector v by 2. So 1/2 times 2 is 1. -4 times 2 is -8. And then when we do that subtraction, we get 1/2 minus 1, -1/2. 4/3 minus -8 ends up being 28/3. Okay, and that's it. That is vector addition and scalar multiplication.